Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main headlines on tonight's programme. Rangers close in on another loan signing. Aberdeen get Ryan Christie. Celtic are the record chasers. And Hearts hope to see off Wraith at the second attempt. Yeah, that's some of the points we'll be discussing on the programme tonight. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. I'm delighted to say our bootroom guest is St Mirren striker John Sutton. I feel, Ruffy, as if we've got the best of the two Suttons. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. I think this will be a safe half hour for us tonight. I don't think there'll be much controversy at all.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there'll be no shortage of opinion. I don't think we're really blowing smoke your way, John. It's fair to say, you know, your mum and dad view you as the blue-eyed boy and not the other one.
Well, it's hard to disagree, really. Yeah. If you're looking for intelligence and good looks, maybe I'm not at the top of the tree, but certainly not at the bottom of it. Other people. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you can't say Chris, but we will. Let's see if he gets back at us, Ruffy. We're ready for him if he comes back on. I'm delighted to have you with us, John. Of course, at St Mirren. I've been saying for more than a few weeks, I still think you can get out of it. Is there a belief, is there a sense that things may be turning after that great cup win at the weekend? Oh, there's definitely a belief in the squad. I think there's been a belief that we've underachieved all season, but you've got to go on the field and get the results and put the performances in. It was a cracking result for us at Dundee, a good performance as well. But you know, we've got to get back to picking up points in the league and get ourselves back in contention to, you know, get off the bottom spot and push on up, but away from the relegation issue.
Yeah. What have you made of Jack since his arrival?
It's been really good. You know, I think the boys felt that we let the last manager down. Jack's come in. You know, he's got his own ideas about things. His training's been excellent, and you know, hopefully that's the results start turning now, and you know, we're showing what a good job that he can do for us.
Yeah, and from your own point of view, I would imagine you're fairly happy so far. 10 goals for the season, more to come in the second half, I think could be crucial to St Mirren's chances.
Yeah, scored a few. You know, you always want to score some more, but at the end up, it's a team game. You know, you don't get any prizes for scoring yourself, and you know, the biggest prize would be if we can stay up, and we're still in 2 cup competitions. So you know, who knows where that can take us.
Yeah, Ruffy, I'm looking at the month of February. It's going to be so crucial for St Mirren.
Yeah, it is, but as the players will tell you, you know, that's the games you want. You want to go into games with meaning. You want to go into games knowing what it's all about, know what you have to do, and sometimes players just lift their game just that wee bit, and there will be hard games, there's no doubt about that, but I think it's always good to get a good cup run, and everything else gets a spin from it.
I know there's an old cliche, John, one game at a time, but you've got Falkirk at the weekend, but everybody must be looking and pinpointing Dumbarton and Ayr United. 7 points and 8 points, the difference between those guys and yourself at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, obviously they're 2 big games, but you're right about the cliche. It's one game at a time. If we can manage to, you know, pick up 3 points against a pretty good Falkirk side who, you know, they're looking to push on to the playoffs, then maybe we can you know, get ourselves back into it before those 2 games. But you know, we're aware they're there and they are going to be, you know, the proverbial 6-pointer.
Yeah. Just probably St Mirren fans will be looking in the back pages tomorrow, and it could be all done and dusted with Kyle McAllister to Derby County for a fee of around 225,000. Now, one wonders if that's maybe, you know, getting someone who's got a value on them to give the manager a little bit of extra money to duck and dive to strengthen even more in the window. What do you know about Kyle McAllister?
Well, I played with him for a long enough time. Now, Kyle's got, you know, tremendous potential. You know, I think he's shown some of that already. You know, if I was to compare him to a player up in Scotland, maybe like James Forrest, you know, the first 10 yards, you know, he's so explosive and so quick. And I'd be interested to see how he goes down there. But, you know, certainly he's got the potential to, you know, to be a game changer, to go past people. And I produce the goods at whatever level he plays at.
Yeah, Ruffy, as far as predictions go, when you're on fire, you're on fire. Last night on the programme you did mention the Scottish Cup replay between Ayr United and Queen's Park would go to penalties. In the end, Ian McCall, the happier of the 2 managers.
Yeah, and happier obviously because of the goalkeeper making crucial saves and the penalty kicks. I didn't think there was much between the two sides, and unfortunately there has to be a loser. But he'll be looking forward to that and looking forward to the next tie to see who he gets.
Yeah, there's going to be a loser in tonight's cup replay between Hearts and Raith Rovers. Hearts every day now, they're never too far away from somebody being linked with. I mean, Cathro, obviously, it could be Ismael Goncalves, who was at St Mirren actually. It could be going to Tynecastle as well. So clearly he's trying to get as many of the type of players that he's looking for this brave new dawn.
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, he's having to play them all at the same time. I think at the weekend there he threw 4 or 5 of them into the deep end, and that takes a while sometimes for them to gel. So we'll be hoping tonight, whatever the team he puts out there, they'll be able to handle Raith Rovers.
Yep, of course, Hibs lying in wait, but right now there's a sense of frustration from the Hearts manager that he hasn't quite convinced the fans about the grand plan.
I feel a frustration just now, which is primarily for the fans, and that, you know, of course we feel the disappointments, but I know where we're going, you know, and I know our work, I know the players, I know where we're going, you know, I know the things that are going to happen. So it's easier for us on the insides to deal with those things, and every time we don't maybe fully show them where this is going, that can feed into them and say, come on, come with us, this is going to be a bit of a ride. Every time we don't do that, it hurts, because we want them to be part of this right now, and they will be, and they are, and they support us, but you know, I feel it when we don't give them that. So that's probably the most difficult part of it, the most frustrating part. But you know, that'll happen soon.
Okay, many a manager has said that, John, but as you mentioned earlier there, it only comes with delivering results on the park. They have to get past Raith, and then I think, you know, suddenly everybody would buy them time if they get past Hibernian in the Cup.
Yeah, obviously that's the big rivalry, and I think there's a lot of history with Hearts and Hibs in the Cup, especially after Hibs winning it last year. Probably, you know, in the Hibs fans' mind, that gets back to 5-1 game. You know, having played there, you know how much that means to the fans and how much that's talked about. But it's a tricky one tonight. I know the Raith Rovers manager, Gary Locke, is about as big a Hearts fan as you can get, and he'll be wanting to go there and win, and then, you know, he'll be looking at the tie in the next round and thinking that's an unbelievable tie for them as well.
Yeah, Ruffy, you want to give us your prediction now because you're on this run?
I think Hearts will win, but I don't want to be doom and gloom. But if they don't win, I think his bigger plan, and it's okay him saying there's a plan, but Hugh's just touched on it. Fans won't buy into it tonight. If Raith Rovers to beat them tonight, I think they would hear how they feel about the whole thing.
Lots more to come on the programme. Just before the break, let's talk about one of the other men who finally got his move over the course of the last 24 hours. So we mentioned it yesterday on the programme, Ryan Christie. John, because you've moved about a bit, you've gone back to some clubs that you've already been at. You're never one to make a statement that you might live to regret. But Ryan Christie in 2012 had a pop at the Aberdeen fans, maybe the team as well, but that'll all be forgotten if he scores or creates the first goal for the Dons. He's on loan from Celtic.
That's the thing with football, isn't it? If you're performing on the pitch, you can get away with a lot of stuff. I'm sure he wishes he could take that. Was it a tweet back now? But if he produces the goods, I'm sure the Aberdeen fans will love him. Yeah,
and of course, always good to start the noise up, and it is a noise up, Ruffy, because you know you can see him with the Aberdeen strip, and then he says, you know, I've just joined the second biggest team in Scotland. I mean, I don't know how many people he wants to troll him and make his life a misery, but it's not the ideal thing to say. Just get in there and get on with it.
No, I think we have to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's just said that, you know, because he's joined the club. I don't think he would be having a dig, but I think Aberdeen have got a player. Any time he's been given a chance at Celtic, he's looked different class, and I'm sure just being about Parkhead, they'll have learnt a lot, so Aberdeen are going to get the benefit of it.
Yeah, do you think, you know, as a loan signing, it's all over for him at Celtic, or will he get a real chance if he plays regular to come back?
Yeah, I think he's still maybe a couple of years really stepping into the Celtic first team, but certainly Aberdeen will give him more experience, but I really do think he's one for the future.
Okay. Coming up in the next part of the programme, we are going to talk Rangers with Mark Warburton. We will also discuss romance and football. Does it go together? John's looking rather worried as I mentioned that there. And we are also going to talk of Dundee United. We'll hear from the Dundee United manager, Ray McKinnon, and we'll also talk about Project Brave with Malky Mackay going around a few clubs trying to put their minds at ease with regards to the academy plan as well. It's all to come right after the break. Alan Ruff is with me and our boot room guest is St Mirren's John Sutton. Join us if you can. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff is with me, Peter Martin. Our boot room guest is St Mirren striker John Sutton. Absolutely delighted to have him with us here in the studio. We've been talking St Mirren. We now move on to a strange subject. I mean, last night we had Chris Miller singing songs, Ruffy, to attract the fans in, and to be applauded for that. He's getting pelters off his mates for doing the video though. But what about this guy? I want you to have a look at this guy because he scores a wonder goal. And when you score goals like that, anything is possible, Ruffy. It's just magnificent, and it's so romantic, John. I'm not sure whether you would have done that yourself, but I love the fact that with the romance there's still the referee in the background giving it a yellow card.
I don't know if I'd have scored a goal like that. Maybe you'd have reconsidered, maybe go for an upgrade. And I'm only joking if you're watching in Graham, by the way.
Exactly. Ashton Surber asking his fiancée to marry him. There's only one answer, Ruffy, isn't there?
Yeah, of course. Let's hope there was only just one woman in the crowd in case it was two or three. He jumped up and said, okay.
Only you could see another angle to that, Ruffy. Anyway, let's hope she said yes. I'm not quite sure if she did or not, but it was brilliant goal, brilliant gesture.
You would appeal it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can appeal it, but nevertheless, if you take your jersey off, you're booked. It's as simple as that.
Personally, I think that should be a red, things like that.
Just out of curiosity, you don't strike me as the type of person that would take your top off if you scored a wonder goal.
What do you think? I'm looking a bit podgy now, right?
No, I was merely suggesting your personality suggests that you're not, out there like...
not like other people in the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be right, yeah.
Oh, okay, then.
Humility goes a long way with something.
You're giving us so much material, it's brilliant. Let's switch your attention to Rangers. Of course, we looked at Emerson Hyndman and John Terrell, Ruffy, and thought, maybe that's it, but suddenly there could be another man in there, Reece Oxford from West Ham, a loan deal for the defender until the end of the season is in the offing.
Yeah, I think Rangers have got the bit between their teeth, obviously, by losing to Celtic. They really want that second place. I think that second place will mean a lot to the supporters, obviously, a cup run as well, and getting into Europe. So I think the manager's now realising that the fans do want some kind of success with Celtic picking up everything else.
I'm a wee bit worried about this. The way the mechanics go on it. Barry Mackay, Mark Warburton has said that there's no way they're going to let him go on the cheap or at a bargain price. I mean, this story has developed, forgive me for being cynical, but it's almost as if somebody's trying to shunt him out the door for a half-decent price. 6 million, which I don't think Barry Mackay is worth. I think the boy should, be allowed to develop at Rangers. This story's just grown arms and legs, Ruffy.
Yeah, it seems to have grown arms and legs since the game over there, and obviously... the boy did play well, particularly over there. But again, we've not really heard anything from the club. It's all been coming from here more than anything else. So I think the boy will have to be sensible enough to wait and see what happens. And so will we. Obviously they're running out of time if they want to take him. But I'm like you, I think 6 million is a wish. rather than anything else from Rangers.
Yeah, and the other key point here is I like him as a player. I mean, I thought he played really well in the Old Firm game, John. But he's one of those players that I think, you know, some managers who are going to part with cash would say, okay, play another year at Rangers. Let's see a consistent Barry Mackay doing damage.
Possibly. You've got to remember Rangers is a massive club. Personally, you know, he's a young boy. He's come to the youth team. He's produced performances to a very high level. I would have thought that he's one of the players that they're looking to build the team around, not get rid of. But you know, if a big money bid comes in, who knows? You know what might happen.
Yeah, and there's another player that's been training with the first team, Robbie. That's Billy Gilmore. Now everybody's raving about this young lad. Still a young lad. I think, you know, he's a good club who can take him on and develop him. I'm a little bit wary of young guys going away out of their own family environment. You know, they've got people there who's got his best interests at heart.
Yeah, we keep hearing stories about young boys moving, you know, far too early and going where they're not getting any better than what they are, where they are. You know, and I'm like you. I think Rangers is a good place to be. You know, they're going to look after him. He's going to identify that young players are getting a chance as well, which is really important. So you would like to think 2 or 3 years, just keep learning your trade.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice, especially, you know, as young players. Suddenly, everybody's quoting Karamoko Dembele at Celtic, and everybody remembers Islam Farouz, another young player who just disappeared off the radar as far as first-team football is concerned, John.
Yeah, obviously, it's an individual thing, you know. Different people think different things, but I guess, you know, he'll be living at home with his family. He'll have people to talk to, you know, about his game, about sort of the problems he has with his life, because, you know, clearly it's going to change. You know, he's going to be playing in front of 50,000 punters, and it's you know, it's tricky to deal with. And you know, from the outside, I would guess that staying at Rangers is probably the best thing for him for now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's switch our attentions to a couple of things before we finish, and we'll get John's thoughts on the games tonight and, of course, the big one at the weekend against Falkirk. Dundee United, another club like Dundee, just going through a sticky patch at the moment. Dundee United getting ready for Dunfermline at the weekend. Everybody thought it was going to be neck and neck between United and Hibernian, but Hibernian have opened up a gap, and Ray McKinnon just quick to try and calm everybody's nerves on this little bad run.
You know something, football's like this, you know, in every walk, in every team, they all get these blips in seasons, they get these setbacks, and, you know, you can't expect to go through seasons without getting setbacks, and, you know, you don't enjoy the good times unless you get these setbacks, so it's about keeping a balance on things, you know. We weren't getting too carried away when we went 14 games unbeaten. We're not going to get too down and carried away in the opposite direction before a couple of setbacks. It's about how we prepare and about moving this club forward, and, you know, that's important. I've got belief in this squad. We'd like to add to it. You always want to get better quality into your team, but, you know, you have to take both these things, and you know, you can't get too high and too low. You've got to make sure you keep a very level balance on an objective opinion on what's happening. So, and we've done that, we've rectified it, we've spoke about it, and it's about now putting things into practice.
What do you make of United this season, John?
I think they've done reasonably well. There's a lot of big teams in our division for Scottish football, and I think he's had a difficult job to walk into. I think Hibs were pretty much set in terms of their squad. They've made some really good additions, right enough, but you know, it's a bit of a rebuilding job for Ray at Dundee United, and I think the run they went on, where they drew level at the top of the league with Hibs, probably raised expectations, but I think if at the start of the season he'd have been told they're in this scenario, he'd have probably taken it.
Yeah. I think the general consensus is that Hibernian will eventually win the division. If you were picking one team that could potentially go up if they could win a playoff against the second bottom Premiership team, who would it be?
It's tricky to say. You probably would say Dundee United. You know, they're second in the league. Certainly, I think there'll be a belief at the club that they should be in the top league. But I mean, really, you could say that for a lot of teams in our division. There's you know, it doesn't get so much coverage in the Championship, but, you know, there's a lot of big clubs there who get good support. You know, you play at Falkirk with, you know, 5,000-6,000 fans, Dunfermline 6,000-7,000 fans. So there's a lot of teams with the belief that they should be in the top league, and should they get the chance, they'll be snapping someone's hand off to take it to get up there.
Yeah, a couple of points to get your thoughts on, guys, before we finish. Of course, Robert Snodgrass could be on the move to Burnley. They've accepted Hull City a £10 million offer for him.
Yeah, they've hung on in there to get the right price, and it's went up and up. That just shows you the importance that he has to club and to us as well, international level as well.
Yep, and I like the quote from Gordon Strachan who says, Scott Brown may well be remembered throughout his career for his stare more than anything else. That's an unusual thing to be remembered for throughout your career, John Sutton.
Yeah, I'd remember Scott Brown, less for his stare, more as being a really good player, really very good player. He's been at Celtic for years and produced the goods, over so many seasons at the top level. You got to say in the Champions League as well. Yeah,
Ruffy, any slip-ups? Are they going to equal the record tonight?
I think they will. I think St Johnstone will give them a difficult tie. I think St Johnstone are good away from home, but I think they'll just edge it.
OK, thanks to John Sutton. Great to have him on the programme, as ever. Hard-hitting and, of course, humility as well, with a Sutton. Who'd have thought? Thanks to John for coming on the programme. From Ruffy and myself, good night.